I mean, I don't know how I got all these subscribers because I just waffle so much. ramble. Anyway, I need to stretch my legs out because my hips are killing me. I'm like an old lady. Oh, that's better. Oh, my hip. Also, he's been back for a while, done a few videos. Why can't this ever be simple? This community is what I want to do for my... And this is so waffly. I feel like I need to start again. Hello, welcome to Spread Book Joy. Today I am celebrating having reached over 700 subscribers in the last month. Can you believe that? I can't believe it. I said when I hit over 600 I'd do a celebration video, and before I could get out to do it I've hit over 700. So I'm celebrating by doing the Spreading Some Booktube Love tag by Jolene from Bookworm Adventure Girl. Cheers! If you're new to the channel, I'm Jack, and if you've just recently subscribed, welcome back. And all those people who subscribed for me from the start, thank you and welcome back. This is my celebratory video. I know it's traditional to do a Q&A, but one, I'm a bit scared that people won't have any Qs, and two, I don't know what my As will be, so I'm not going to do that. If I hit, if I manage to hit a big next milestone like 1,000 subscribers, which I can't quite believe, if I do manage to hit 1,000 subscribers I will do a Q&A, because I'm a little bit scared of Q&As, but we'll see. I do enjoy it when other people do them though. But yes, so I'm doing Spreading the Booktube Love tag because I feel like a way to celebrate all that I've gained in the last year, not just subscribers but everything that this community has brought to me. I want to celebrate all of it, and what better way than to do this lovely tag. I saw Jolene did this tag, she created it over on Valentine's Day, and I thought at the time, well, that's lovely, I'm going to do that one day. And then when I hit 600 subscribers about a month ago, I was like, right, I'm going to do that. Didn't get round to it because I've been doing the Picture This Readathon and loads of other stuff. Oh, by the way, yes, my favourite mug, I brought it up for the occasion. I put on my sparkly Bowie t-shirt for the occasion, and you'll notice I'm not in my usual place for filming because I've had to film on a Sunday recently, because life and meeting friends in real life happened on Saturdays when I normally film, and it's Sunday, so my partner's watching his football team downstairs. So you're sitting upstairs, currently you're sitting on the bed and I'm leaning against the wall on the floor, but we've got good light up here, all right, so that's good. This channel started in September of 2020. It started as a children's book channel. I don't know if many of you know that. It started off as a teacher. I'd started a website, which I still have, and you can go and sign up for my newsletter, which I haven't done for months, but I will be putting one out soon. I started off to promote children's books for teachers and parents and anyone involved in supporting children to become readers, because that's what I'm passionate about. That's my jam. And it quickly became something else. I said quickly, for quite a few months I was just shouting out into the ether, and I was following some other children's book tubers, children's book YouTubers or whatever, and I just started wanting to talk about my own reading, and I was following some other booktubers, and I saw this booktube newbie tag, which I hadn't done, and it was like 4 months in, and I did the booktube newbie tag, and that brought quite a lot of really lovely members of this community to my video, and they commented, and even if they didn't went into what I was doing, they were just like, welcome. And that's when this all kind of really took off for me and became my happy place, which it is now, because I still promote children's books, as you know, but I also, this is kind of like my main hobby now. I love to read and take part in reading events run by the community and run some events of my own, and it's just been amazing, and all just sitting talking into my phone with a cheap microphone basically is what I've been doing. So yeah, I want to share the love a little bit. Another thing is, I've been noticing that I do a lot of watching of BookTube on my iPad, and my notifications on my iPad. Has anyone else noticed that the YouTube app on the iPad doesn't have the mentions or community tab? Has anyone noticed that? So if I want the community tab or looking at mentions, I have to look on my iPhone or I look on my laptop. So I miss it sometimes when people mention me in videos. And there is so much content going out week to week, and I have such finite and limited time during the day that sometimes I have to choose reading over BookTube. And I'm always going to choose reading over BookTube, because if I don't read, I won't be happy. And also my channel is about reading, so I need to read to have content, if that makes sense. But I try my best. I really, really try my best to keep up with as many videos as possible. And for quite a while, what I wasn't doing was subscribing to newer channels, because I felt I didn't have the time to dedicate to watching them. And recently though, I've been like, no, when you're a new booktuber starting out, and I remember it really clearly, every subscriber counted so much. So if you're a newer booktube channel who I've recently subscribed to, and I will mention you in this video, there are people who I've recently subscribed to who I've yet to watch as well. But I've gone over and subscribed because other booktubers have said go and subscribe to these channels, so I've done it. So MJ over at Reading This Life, for example, does YouTuber shout-outs, booktuber shout-outs for small booktubers, and I try and go and subscribe to lots of those people. Sometimes I don't always get to watch all of your channels, but if you look at the amount of people I'm about to mention, and I don't subscribe to nearly as many channels as some people do, you'll see, like, if everybody put out a 10-minute video every week, and lots of people put out 2 a week, and lots of people put out 3 a week, you would never do anything else. You would never read or watch or do anything else apart from watching booktubers. So what I would like to say is, I will subscribe to newer booktubers now, where I wouldn't before, because I didn't want to subscribe to people and not watch them. But I know that numbers help. And at some point when I have time, I will I make a day and I'll go and watch newer booktubers to me. But I try and keep up with people who have been my sort of main core of community in the booktube community, the people who I interact with the most, the people who I've been watching for religiously, I try and keep up with, and who just make me happy to watch. I try and keep up with those on a weekly basis. Sometimes, and you all know this, I'll come onto your channel and I will binge like 4 or 5 videos in a go, and then you won't see me for 3 weeks, and then I'll come back and I'll binge all your videos. That's just because the way my life works. I have, 4 jobs. I teach primary school, I tutor online, I do sort of student teacher supervision for 2 different universities, and now master's student supervision for a university as well. So I just have so little time Monday to Friday. So also, if you're a subscriber and you make a comment on my video and you don't see me answer it for like 5 or 6 days, that's why, because I will block out time on the weekends to try and do stuff like that, or I'll block out time if I get a spare day off. So yeah, I appreciate everyone who watches, everyone who comments, everyone who I follow. I would wish I could watch all of your content all the time, and I try to keep up with it. So I just want to know, if you've got any tips on keeping up with things. I watch things at double speed as well. So I watch most of the videos I watch on YouTube, I watch at double speed. So to try and keep up and fit in as many videos as possible. So the spreading to booktube love tag is really, really hard, by the way. So some people will be in more than one category, because that's just the way this goes. I could have talked about multiple people across categories. Some categories will have more names than others. I'm just going to get on with it because I'm waffling too much now. So why have I got all these subscribers? All I do is waffle and ramble. I just don't understand it, but I'm going to get into it. Okay, prompt number 1. Give a shout out and spread some love to booktubers who inspire you. Now, this is the only prompt where I'm going to talk about booktubers who I've been watching before I had a booktube channel, who inspire me, who I love, and I still watch. I don't watch them as much as I'd like to, because I try and watch smaller booktubers and try and spread my time out with smaller booktubers, because they need the watch hours and stuff. But I will, every now and again, when I've got like loads of spare time, I will go over to these channels and I will try and catch up on them. One of them is someone who hasn't been producing content for a while, but I'm going to mention this person first because they actually inspired me to start a booktube channel, and that is Claudia over at Spinster's Library. Now, this is also the only time I'm going to mention booktubers who have like thousands and thousands of subscribers. Majority of the booktubers I'm going to mention will be smaller booktubers, but I could have said to everybody on BookTube inspires me, and they all do. Everyone that I interact with on a regular inspires me with their dedication, their passion, their creativity. So in terms of, I did want to mention a couple of, like I said, bigger booktubers, and this is the only place I'm going to mention them. So Claudia at Spinster's Library, whose channel has over 10,000 subscribers. She hasn't been on for a while, but she is decorating a very new Spinster's Library because she's recently moved house, and she'll be coming back soon, I have no doubt, especially because at some point she'll have to be back for Jane Austen July. So Claudia inspired me to start my BookTube channel. She's got a whole series of how she does BookTube, and I've been following her for a number of years now, and we've also done lots of buddy reads together, and she's just great. She's a really lovely booktuber. She's a really nice friend as well, and I've done a few buddy reads and hosted a read along with her, and she's just lovely. So Claudia. I'm also going to mention Katie from Books and Things, whose channel I don't get to watch as much either, but she's lovely and she's got a huge following as well. Marissa at Blatantly Bookish, who is someone, because they all host Jane Austen July, that's why they inspired me, because it's the kind of first lot of booktubers that I started to watch who were doing an event that I actually took part in before I had my own BookTube channel. I took part in Jane Austen July this will be my third year taking part in it, in Jane Austen July, but my second as a booktube will be this year. So the first year I took part in July 2020, and I didn't have a BookTube channel, so I was just watching these lovely inspiring booktubers. The other person who I really, really love and I never get to watch as much of is Catherine from Taking Tea with Catherine. So those are booktubers who inspire me because they are so passionate about their books. They have inspired me to start a BookTube channel, and I take part in Jane Austen July and Victober, and events that they're all involved in and that they all have talked about and been part of or promoted or run. So I'm just really thrilled to mention those people. So that's the only big booktubers I'm going to mention. Small booktube channels. So I'm going to give a shout out to some smaller booktube channels. These are all channels who have less than 500 subscribers. So please go and subscribe to them straight away. There is Gaia from Gaia Athena, who is wonderful and so friendly. Mason in the Dark. Mason's brilliant, and I never get to watch enough of his stuff, but he's so creative, and he does original poetry and all sorts of things. It's wonderful. Rachel's Reading Nook. Now, Rachel's Reading Nook, I don't get to watch enough of her either, and she has a really thoughtful book choices. She does these amazing vlogs, and I haven't watched her in a while, so I apologise. Again, if I'm mentioning you and you think, well, you never watch my videos, I have, and I do, or I have in the past, and you're someone who I went through all of the people I subscribed to. I'm like, yes, you're so lovely. I wish I could watch more of you. But Rachel from Rachel's Reading Nook, MJ over at Reading This Life, legend, promoting smaller booktubers. Nikki at Red Dot Reads. I love Nikki. She's wonderful, lives in Singapore, has a lot of similar reading tastes to me and some very different because she reads a lot of thrillers as well. And she's a teacher. So yeah, go over to Nikki's channel. The Karina Chronicles. Karina's someone who's a newer booktuber to me, but she's lovely. Booking with Deborah. Deborah is I got to know Deborah through part of the Anne Along group, the Anne of Green Gables group run by Emily over at Novelle Novels. She's wonderful. So Booking with Deborah, she's just done a lovely recent vlog on, well, it was a few weeks ago now, but I caught up with it on, she lives in the Yorkshire Dales, so she takes you to a lovely independent bookshop and a little tour around some of the small villages in the Dales as well. And this is an amazing channel. You must go and subscribe to this channel. This is Alexandra over at The Ritual of Reading. Alexandra is a Parisian booktuber, and the quality of her videos is amazing. She produces the most, just meditative, peaceful, beautifully shot, she takes her time and edits, and she's just the most beautiful videos. She's doing a month of Japan. She's reading Japanese literature, modern literature. She's doing a celebration of Japanese culture, and yeah, it's wonderful. Go over and check her channel out. She's fantastic. Prompt number 3, booktubers who live close to you. Well, I don't know anyone who lives like close to me, very physically close to me. So I'm going to have to go for some booktubers who live close to me in the south of England at least. The people I can think of off the top of my head will be Julie from Hungry Bookworm, Alice and the Giant Bookshelf, Emily at Novell Novels, and Gemma from Gemma Books. I'm going to mention them again because they'll come up again at some point. Just wait and see. Booktubers from different continents than yours. So many. We talked about Nikki already. She's over in Singapore, but you've got Elizabeth at Bookhands and Books, Jolene's from Bookworm Adventure Girl. They're both in Canada. Berna from Berna's Bookish Adventure. She's in Turkey. Scott and Nell from Gunpowder Fiction and Plot, who are in Australia. What I was really looking at the other day is the amount of booktubers who we were in a reading group with Pachinko along. We're reading Pachinko. Jem from Gem of Books has organised the Pachinko along, and I'm finally reading a book alongside people who I love watching. People I've just mentioned, Jolene, Nikki is in it, Margaret Pinard, who is actually officially AuthorTube, but she is fabulous. She does all her videos live. Like, Margaret, I don't know how you managed to do that, but they're all in this reading group. And I was just thinking, gosh, we've got people communicating in this reading group from all parts of the world, and it's just amazing, really, isn't it? So yes, there's lots of people who live in different continents other than my own who we communicate with, or I've been part of reading groups with, which has been lovely. 5, booktubers with furry reading companions, loads. Claudia, I've just mentioned, always her cats are always in her videos, but Alice's cat Harry, legend. Shelley Swearingen's little dog Harry, he's lovely. Gemma's got a dog, I've forgotten your dog's name, Gemma, for some reason. Nikki's got 2 little doggos as well. Emily at Novell Novels has got her cat. Gina Stanya, if you love cats, Gina Stanya she's always fostering cats, and she's got her own cats, so always lovely little kitty cat shots. Okay, prompt number 6, booktubers you've buddy read or group read with. Now, I've just mentioned loads of people I'm group reading with Pachinko, but I'm going to give a shout out here to the first person on YouTube that I did a buddy read with. I think it was... No, the first person I did a buddy read with was Claudia. So we buddy read Northanger Abbey. That's my first YouTube buddy read, because I've buddy read on Instagram before this. But my first buddy read, aside from Claudia, was my very good friend Ariel. Ariel's channel is called Reading and Whatnot, and she's one of the first booktubers I started really interacting with, small booktubers, and we chat quite regularly. It was quite daily for quite a while, but it's been kind of like weekly, and she's not been on Booktube so much in the last few months, but she is coming back to it. But she's funny and she's a really lovely person, and we read their JFK book together. Stephen King's book about JFK, 11/22/63, and we loved it and we had a great time. So we've become really good friends now. She lives in Florida. Go check her channel out. Number 7, subscribers and commenters who don't have a Booktube channel. I have a few, but the one that always pops into mind is Suze. So I didn't know Suze's name for the longest time, and she comments on the majority of my videos and always has really insightful comments, and has requested a few things which I am planning on doing, like sort of my classics that I like, and looking into my cupboards down the stairs where I've stuffed all of my books that I haven't got space to display at the moment. So yeah, Suze is lovely. If you are a commenter or someone who regularly watches my channels, doesn't have a Booktube channel yourself, say hi in the comments below. Hi, and if your name is not in your sort of YouTube handle, just let me know. Say hi, what your name is, and we can chat down in the comments. Booktubers newer to you. So here are some booktubers who are newer to me. So there are booktubers who are newer to me who I'd love you to go and follow, who I've recently made friends with, either through reading groups and started following, or started watching recently, or they're people that I know, booktubers I love promoting. So here they go. I'm going to go through them all. Danny from Danny's Book World, lovely. David Wiley, Read Rebecca, Laura's Little Library, or it's Laura's Lil Library, Book Talks with Mrs. Thomas, Lindy's Magpie Reads, Chatty the Mad Chatter, Storm Reads, The Great Jelly Library, This Day and This Page, Bookish Blunders, Carrie Sweetapple, who is hilarious, by the way. She's a New Zealander, love her. I just love her. Her sense of humour is brilliant. I've only watched a couple of her videos. Again, if I had all the time in the world, I'd be watching you all day. Cuprious Callings, Leandra the TBR Zero, Savage Reads, and Vidania Silverscribe. These are all lovely people who I've watched at least one video for. Some have watched more than one, and I wish I had more time so I could watch you all the time. So, but please, everyone else, go out and check them out. Number 9, booktubers who read different books or genres than you. Now this was a tricky one because I read all genres. I don't tend to read like steamy romance very much. That's not sort of my bag, so it's probably the only thing that I say that I really don't read a lot of is that kind of thing. But I do like a contemporary romance every now and again, but like, you know what I mean, like the really sort of raunchy steamy romances, that's not for me generally. But I read the majority of books that I read, that people read, I will have a go at, and I will read like fantasy, mystery, horror, contemporary, classics, literary fiction, children's fiction. I read everything. I read quite widely. But there are some channels that really, so I thought I'd just mention here, who focus on some things that I'm not familiar with, but I still enjoy hearing about. One of them is Elizabeth over at Bookhans and Books, and I put this down because she reads, being Canadian, and much like Jolene as well, they've introduced me to some Canadian literature on their channel, and I've not read a lot of Canadian literature, so both of those channels are good for that. And Criminoli, who is a recent follower of mine, who I really like following him. He's great fun. He reads like, pulp, horror and that kind of thing. I do like those things though. It's not that I don't. I'm just saying these are people who specialise, like their channel specialise. Similarly, David over at David's Book Reviews, who I don't watch as much as I used to because I just, like, again, don't have the time, but he is one of the first people to comment on my BookTube newbie tag and just be welcome to BookTube and just be kind, and he's really like that with the community, and he has a channel where he reads a lot of horror, but he's kind of branching out a bit as well. He's doing Grimm's Fairy Tales at the moment, so yeah, David, he's lovely. Someone who I don't watch a lot again is Noah over at Everyone Who Reads It Must Converse. He's he reads such interesting books, fascinating stuff, like really quite literary or complex books. Just go and check his channel out, you'll see what I mean. AJ over at AJ Dunn Reads and Writes, they read quite literary fiction and a lot of thrillers, because they are a thriller writer, so they read a lot of thrillers. So there's lots of stuff that AJ reads that I like to read, but they also read quite, like I said, literary. I do like literary fiction, but not all literary fiction. Some of it's just too complex for me, for my tastes. Scott and Nell over at Gunpowder Fiction and Plot, also, I love them. They're so clever. They inspire me, actually. I think I just love listening to them. They talk so deeply and knowledgeably about books and reading, and they read a lot of literary fiction, and I find out a lot about literary fiction from them. Hugo at Scientist Reading World, he reads so much YA. He's a really big YA fan, and I'm going to be joining his quarterly book club, where he and Julie from the Hungry Bookworm are starting a book club. Well, they've started it, and they're going to read a YA book per quarter, so I'm going to do that. Pay over at Attention, one of the first people to interact with me and constantly watched and commented on my videos for a long time. He took a break from YouTube for a while, and he's so clever. He's just so clever and creative. Like, he's like an artist, a musician. Go and check out Pay if you haven't. Also, Pay has been back for a while and done a few videos which I haven't had a chance to go and see yet, but I will, Pay, I promise. I'm going to come over and watch them. Steve from Steve Talks Books. It used to be Steve Talks Books and Stuff, but I think he's just changed it to Steve Talks Books. Someone else I don't watch as regularly as I'd like to either. If you like indie fiction, go and watch Steve. Steve regularly reads indie fiction, talks to the authors. Go watch him, he's great. Okay, booktubers who have similar tastes. The majority of people all read books that I would read. Gemma from Gem of Books is someone who I think also, and Alice and Giant Bookshelf, we have very, very similar tastes in books. When it comes to dystopian fiction for Alice, fantasy, Gemma and I read a lot of fantasy, but like I said, the majority of people on BookTube, I think, have a similar taste in that they would read books that I want to read. BookTubers with great original tags. Sandy over at Miss Reads a Lot, she does great original tags. Gunpowder Fiction and Plot, Scott and Nell, they do ones that make you think, really good. Jim over at Jim's Books, Reading and Stuff. Jim, yeah, he's the king of the alphabet tag, although he would say, oh no, king of tags, but yes, Jim does a lot of really great tags. Julie over at Hungry Bookworm does lots of great original tags. Her Kindle Hoarder, Confessions of a Kindle Hoarder tag is one of my highest watched videos that I did, and she tagged me in that. BookTube projects you join or follow or would like to. Well, I'm part of Emily at Novell Novels, her Anne-along. Jane Austen July, I've talked about already. Victober, I've talked about already. The Killer Reads Book Club, I talked about it recently. AJ Dunn Reads and Writes, doing the like sort of best thrillers book club, which I've yet to be able to take part in, but I want to. Sandy's 1001 Book Club, Middle Grade March, I love. Tudor Timber, Julie at Hungry Bookworm runs Tudor Timber. Katie from Books and Things is doing a historical readathon in May. Discworld read-alongs run by Katya from Read Write Create, Rosie Cockshut and Scott from Gunpowder Fiction Plot, and Kevy from Say Kevy. So there's lots of people there that continually run amazing things that I've either do take part in, I've wanted to take part in, I've taken part in a bit. Amy and Ange from Ange's Book Chatter is an amazing person, and Amy from BookTube with Amy, they're running the Out of the Coffin read along, which is all of the Sookie Stackhouse books, and I just got so much FOMO. Even though I had a million things on last week, I had to take part in it. So good. Okay, 13 booktubers who always put you in a good mood. Now I'm going to mention some people here who I've not mentioned yet, and some people who I've already mentioned, but these are people who make BookTube a happy place for me, who always put me in a good mood, and who I just love watching. And if I haven't caught up with your videos recently, any of these people I'm mentioning, it's just because time, but I will. So I'm just going to shout out Shelley from Shelley Swearingen's Library. She's just marvellous, and she's my picture this buddy. Gina Stania. Gina, I love Gina. She's just so bright and bubbly, as is Sandy from Miss Reads a Lot. Sandy's just the most positive, lovely, lovely person, and so fascinating to watch. Becky from Teacup the Storyteller, so sweet. Love Becky, she's wonderful. Marilyn Meyer Mendoza, and I don't know, she's not come up yet, but Marilyn is one of my favourite booktubers, the baby boomer booktuber. Absolutely love Marilyn. Kevy from Say Kevy, she is so fun, and just her laugh is so infectious, and she's hilarious. I love her ranty reviews are brilliant. Scott and Nell at Gunpowder Fiction and Plot. I've mentioned them a few times, but I just think they have got one of the most interesting channels on BookTube. And I don't mean interesting. They're going to laugh at my use of the word interesting because that's been debatable, but like fascinating channels. They think about the things they debate together, and they're so smart. That's all I can say. They're smart people, and I just love watching them. But the next few people I'm going to mention, because they are people I talk to on the daily, and that is the lovely Emily at Novell Novels. I love Emily. Emily's just so friendly and positive and wonderful, and she reads like 1 million books a year, and I don't know how she does it, because she has kids and a job and everything, and she volunteers at charity bookshop, and I don't know how she does it. It's amazing. Gem from Gem of Books. Gemma at Gem of Books is a legend. You're so funny, brilliant. Also, I don't know how you do it. Work, kids, BookTube, amazing. Alice in a Giant Bookshelf. Just loved Buddy reading House of Leaves with you recently. Alice is wonderful. And Ange's Book Chatter. Ange is lovely, delightful and funny, and she's just got this lovely, calm, quiet voice. I just love listening to her, but she's got a wicked sense of humour, so really funny and very witty. Amy from BookTube with Amy. I love watching her videos. She's always got great opinions. I think she's just brilliant. And Julie from Hungry Bookworm. I talk to Julie most days. Julie is a lovely person. She has been on BookTube for quite a while. She's one of the first people to interact with me and talk to me. She gave me a shout out, which boosted my channel immeasurably in the early days. So Julie really helped my channel along, and she's a lovely member of the community. She's just funny and smart, and yeah, Julie's lovely. I think I've mentioned everybody. If I have left anybody out and I discover this at the end, I'm going to link your channel in the description box below anyway. So if you've been watching this and you think you said she'd mentioned me but she hasn't, then I apologise. This has been a really hard video to put together because I've spent hours researching it and going through my subscriptions list and thinking about people, trying to make the tags fit everybody. It's a wonderful tag, Jolene, how lovely. And yeah, can I just say thank you to all the people I've mentioned who make my life, they brighten up my life immeasurably by the content they put out, by the kind things that they do, by the events they run, and just, yeah, I love it. I love being part of the community, and thank you all so much. So hopefully, if you've liked this rambling nonsense, I don't know why you would, but if you have, maybe consider hitting the subscribe button. Definitely hit the like or the dislike if you prefer, or leave me a comment, and hopefully I will see you again here soon. Bye.